morning, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the Presidents of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia held the annual Baltic Presidents meeting here in Klaipeda, and now we are starting their joint press conference. We will first hear the statements of the Presidents, and afterwards they will proceed to answer media questions. The press conference will be held in English. I invite to start the President of Lithuania, Gitanas Nausėda.
Your Excellencies, President of Estonia and President of Latvia, dear friends, Alar and Edgars. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to my hometown of Klaipeda for our annual meeting. The Baltic Presidents' trilateral meetings became a cherished tradition, symbolizing not only our friendship and unity, but also the productive cooperation on the most pressing issues facing our region. Speaking with one voice has always been our strength, enabling us to tackle common challenges and advance the key infrastructure projects. Today we adopted a joint statement on enhanced cooperation in defense, security and resilience to send a strong message of confidence to our societies, organizations, businesses, as well as to our allies in NATO. Strengthening security and defense remains our top priority in the Baltics. Together, we will continue to advocate to a 3% GDP defense spending target at the upcoming NATO summit in The Hague. Achieving this target is essential to ensuring credible deterrence and defense of NATO's eastern flank, and by extension, the entire alliance. I am confident that the Baltics will continue to lead by example. Lithuania's defense spending will continue to grow, reaching 3.5% of GDP in 2025. The Baltic countries are staunch supporters of Ukraine. We will maintain a steadfast pace, providing 0.25% of our GDP annually to military support of Ukraine in its fight for freedom. Ukraine's victory will be our victory. We are witnessing Russia intensifying hybrid operations and acts of sabotage on NATO soil. This demands concrete, firm, and united responses at NATO and EU level to counter Russia's hybrid campaign in Europe. There must be a new EU sanctions regime targeting Russia's destabilizing actions. Additionally, we must strengthen sanctions against other actors of the axis of evil: North Korea, Iran, and China. Energy independence and resilience remain critical for the Baltic states. Today, alongside my Baltic colleagues and the President of Poland, we will witness the transfer of ownership of the liquefied natural gas terminal Independence to Lithuania. This marks a significant milestone in Lithuania's energy landscape and that of the entire region. Another key development will take place in February next year, when we will achieve the synchronization of the Baltic States electricity networks with the continental Europe grid. An important step toward full energy independence from Russia. The Rail Baltica project is the cornerstone of military mobility and connectivity between our countries. It is essential that we complete this project by 2030 and work together to secure further EU funding in the next multi-annual financial framework. Your Excellencies, dear Alar and Edgars, I want to express my sincere gratitude for the exceptional cooperation, and I would like to say that I appreciate very much our excellent personal relationship. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. President. I invite the President of Estonia, Alar Karis, to take the floor.
Dear Gitanas, dear Edgars, journalists, friends, I would like to start by thanking President Nausėda and the people of Lithuania for your warm welcome here in Klaipeda. Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania are more than neighbors. We are partners united by deep cultural and historical ties. Together, we are building a stronger, more connected region through projects like synchronizing electricity, grids and Rail Baltic. These efforts demonstrate our shared commitment to a secure and better future. However, we must also confront the serious challenges to our security. Russia's brutal war of aggression against Ukraine serves as a stark reminder of ongoing threats to Europe. Russia remains the most significant and direct long-term threat to Euro-Atlantic security, and its aggression will not stop unless we met with strong and united opposition. In response, we stand firm in our commitment to NATO's forward defense posture and the presence of allied forces in our region. NATO is strong when both United States and Europe are strong within it. Estonia will continue investing more than 3% of its GDP in defense, and we encourage all our allies to do the same. Only credible capabilities deter our adversaries. We also work closely together on regional security projects like the Baltic Defence Line to be truly able and ready to defend from the first centimetre. Security is not only about defence, it's about resilience. Projects like the forthcoming synchronization of the Baltic electricity grid with the continental European network and Rail Baltic are essential milestones. These initiatives solidify our energy autonomy, support our transition to renewable energy sources, and improve military mobility readiness along NATO's eastern flank. Our unwavering support for Ukraine remains essential for European security. Estonia fully supports Ukraine's NATO membership and calls for fast and efficient EU accession negotiations. Furthermore, we must hold Russia, as well as the regimes that support Russia, such as Belarus, Iran and North Korea, accountable for their actions. Looking beyond our region, Estonia reaffirms its steadfast support for Georgia's European path. The Georgian people have clearly expressed their desire for EU membership. Their voices must be heard, and the right to peaceful protest respected. Violence against demonstrators is unacceptable. We stand with the Georgian people in the pursuit of a European future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. I invite the President of Latvia, Edgars Rinkēvičs, to take the floor.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, dear friends, dear Gitanas, dear journalists, I want to thank Gitanas for wonderful hospitality here in Klaipeda. I think that it's a truly historic opportunity to mark one of the milestones of our joint energy independence. And as we discussed, this is only one step. Next year, in February, we are also going to see the complete disconnection from the Russian-Belarusian energy grid and connecting to the European grid. So we are becoming more and more independent. We are becoming more and more resilient when it comes to our own security, when it comes to our own economic development. And I'm also very glad to see that there is a very close cooperation between the Baltic States, be it political, be it defense, be it economy and energy, and be it cultural. And of course, I'm very much looking forward also to continue this tradition of annual meeting of the presidents next year in Latvia. When it comes to regional security, I think that both President of Lithuania and President of Estonia already outlined our common thinking about the need to continue to invest in defense. I think that we all agree that now 2% is not the ceiling, 2% of GDP for defense. It it's just a floor. We need to speak about 2.5% to 3%. And I'm really glad to see that all three Baltic states are leading by example. We also need to work with our NATO European allies, and not only European allies, to explain that it is important that in order to keep strong transatlantic relationship, it is also very necessary to invest more in defense. And also it is very important to invest in strong defense industries. And of course, we do feel and we do understand that Russia will continue to be the most serious, direct and imminent threat to Euro-Atlantic security, and the readiness of NATO forces and capabilities is key. We are currently at the period of high tension and hybrid warfare, be it on our borders, be it Latvian-Belarusian border or Lithuanian-Belarusian border or Polish-Belarusian border, but also we see that the Baltic Sea is increasingly becoming an area of concern, and we are also going to discuss what we can do more together with the Polish president later when we meet him. But we do support the ideas put forward about increasing security setting in the Baltic Sea. And definitely also we discussed our continuous support for Ukraine. Like our friends in the Baltic States, also Latvia is going to allocate in the next year 0.25% of GDP for the military support of Ukraine. We'll continue supporting Ukraine in all ways we can. But of course, we are also at the pivotal moment when there are more and more voices pushing Ukraine for peace, making a pressure on Ukraine, but forgetting to make the same pressure on Russia. And our strong belief, my strong belief is that only strong Ukraine that gets everything it needs to defend itself is the key to the long-lasting peace, to the political process. And I also believe that we need to continue convincing our friends and allies within the NATO and European Union that this is the right approach. And of course, we also discussed the situation in Georgia. I can join my colleagues expressing our full support to Georgian people and to Georgia's European path. I think that we have been always friends and supporters of Georgia, probably one of the biggest friends and supporters within the European Union and NATO. We'll continue so, but we also need to say that now a lot depends on Georgia itself, whether this country wants to continue the European path or decides to suspend or to stop it. And that's of course the decision for Georgians to make. And also I think that from my perspective I can repeat what has been said already by foreign ministers, by myself, and that is a very strong condemnation of repressions against peaceful protests in Georgia. I think that this is not something that is compatible with the candidate country status or with the democratic values of any of countries that want to join the European Union. With that, thank you very much for this great meeting. Looking forward to some ceremonies ahead, and looking forward to continue this tradition, as I said, next year in